Hello, everyone. My name is Sean, and I'm with LDA Document Services. Today, we're going to talk about business entities and which ones are best for you, why you should or should not choose them. We are not attorneys, and I am not an attorney. This is not legal advice, and nothing in this PowerPoint should be viewed as legal advice. If you need legal advice, consult an attorney. This is an informational PowerPoint. What is a business entity? It's a commercial, corporate, or other institution that's formed and administered as per commercial law. As we go through this, you are welcome to pause your video or your slide at any point, and you can reread anything that you like. An entity allows a company the ability to conduct business. It should be chosen with care, and there are consequences to anything you choose. There are legal and tax consequences. If you're uncertain of those, you should consult an attorney, a tax attorney, or a business attorney. If you need a referral, we are happy to send you a referral of attorneys you can talk with. The corporation or entity you choose can also everything relates to money, now and in the future. And of course, we all want to keep more of it. There's an LLC, a partnership, corporation. There are also nonprofit companies that you can form. An LLC is not a separate entity according to the IRS, so it is not taxed. Instead, the members pay individual taxes. Partnerships do not have to pay income tax. Instead, the business will pass through the profits or losses straight to the partners. Corporations have to pay state and federal taxes. They sometimes also pay local taxes. S corporations, only the wages of an S corporation shareholder who is also an employee will be subject to employment tax. Any remaining income is payment to the owners or owner as a distribution. Distributions are taxed at a lower rate, if at all. We're going to talk about legal liability for a moment. LLC members are protected from personal liability for the business decisions or actions of the LLC. Partnerships. Partners retain full shared liability. Therefore, partners are not responsible or not liable for their own actions. They are also, I apologize. Partners retain full shared liability. They are not only liable for their own actions, they are also liable for any business debts and decisions made by other partners. Within a corporation, the shareholders' personal assets are protected. Shareholders can usually only be held accountable for their investment in the stock of a company. However, if an employee commits fraud or a felony under the corporation's direction, the corporate veil can be pierced and personal assets can be on the line. With an S corporation, the shareholders' personal assets, like personal bank accounts, cannot be seized for the purpose of satisfying business liabilities. This is very important when you look at corporations to understand what it means to build business credit so that when you apply for business loans, you want to make sure that you are not using personal assets to secure those loans. For example, there are many business lenders that will loan you money based on your EIN, Employment Identification Number, solely and not on your Social Security number. However, that being said, they may still run a soft check on your personal credit to look at propensity. What is the likelihood you're going to take the money and run compared to the likelihood you're going to pay back a debt? LLC is another type of corporation, and the only real difference is liability rather than shares and costs. Partners in a partnership, partner shares vary, and they should be clearly spelled out in the partnership agreement. If they're not written out, they are assumed to be. A corporation is run by its board of directors, and these people are usually also the owners. Ownership stakes are defined by what percentage of stock each person owns. In an S corporation, a shareholder working for the company must pay him or herself reasonable compensation. Reasonable. The shareholder has to get fair market value, or the IRS may reclassify any additional corporate earnings as wages. So when is a partnership best? Partners share the spoils and the responsibility. The sizes of their shares dictate how much they have. And silent partners generally just want to throw in their money, take out their profits, and not much other than. Partnerships can carry a measure of risk. Partners are responsible for their own and the other partner's doings. It's important, it is vital that partners be trustworthy and responsible. Partners also need a plan in the event one of. So when is a corporation the best? Corporations are typically a lower risk. Business profits go to the business tax returns and not the owners. Corporations are independent entities, so they can be held liable in court for negligence. Again, they can be held liable in court for negligence. The number of shares will determine how much power an owner has in a corporation. Owners with more than 50% of the shares are not always invincible. Smaller shareholders can form together, join together, and become a voting bloc. Once they do this, they can influence the company's direction, their goals, better than if they acted independently. Now let's talk about an S corporation. S corporation will carry lower risks, but the business profits will be reported on the owner's personal tax returns. Owners can save on Social Security and Medicare taxes. S corporation owners are protected from personal liability for its business decisions. S corporations are limited to 100 shareholders. Shareholders must be individuals or certain trusts and estates. A foreigner, someone who is not an American citizen, cannot be a shareholder in an S corporation. Again, a foreign citizen cannot be a shareholder in an S corporation. The company must operate domestically. The owners will pay taxes only on the money they earn from the business, and it is recorded as personal income. The owners of an S corporation, who are also employees, pay taxes based only on their compensation. It means that if they don't pay Social Security or Medicare twice, the owners of incorporated businesses have to. A limited liability corporation carries lower risks, but business profits are reported on personal tax returns. This may result in the owners paying higher taxes. They also pay an employment tax on the net income. LLC is not a separate entity according to the IRS. However, members are protected from personal liability for its business decisions. Typically, a member's assets would be exempt in a lawsuit. LLCs are typically used by groups of professionals like doctors, law firms. So how do you determine which business entity is appropriate for you? Each of these different entities makes a difference in taxes, liabilities, costs. So choosing the best entity means you must consider what happens if the company is sued. You need to be comfortable with who's around you, who's working with you. You need to decide how hands-on an owner wants